Chapter 8 Catastrophe
第8章災難
Uncle Joe's team of huskies answered with yowling and yelping. Something's wrong, cried Annie.
喬叔叔嘅嗰群哈士奇犬以狂吠同埋尖叫聲做咗回應。出事啦！安妮大喊道。
Maybe they had an accident, said Jack. Let's check it out.
可能佢哋做咗事故啊！我哋去睇下。
Hike! Yelled Annie. Straight ahead! The team took off.
前進啊！安妮帶到，一直往前走。團隊出發啦！
Annie drove the huskies through the dark toward the frantic barking.
安妮駕駛住嗰幾隻哈士奇喺黑暗中向嗰陣狂吠嘅方向出發。
Soon they came to another team of dogs floundering in a snowdrift.
好快，佢哋又見到另一隊正喺度雪堆中掙扎嘅狗。
Sled had crashed and flipped over. The driver was trying to free his dogs.
一輛雪橇撞毀並且翻倒啦，司機呢正喺度試圖解救佢嘅狗群。
Whoa! Annie ordered. Stay!
Whoa! 安妮喊道：唔好喐啊！
Jack planted the snow hook firmly in the ground to secure their team.
傑克將雪鈎牢牢咁樣插喺地面，以固定佢哋嘅隊伍。
Then he and Annie bowed their heads against the wind and trudged through the gale.
然後佢同安妮緊閉雙唇，迎住風艱難咁樣踏着前行。
Gunnar? Shouted Jack. Gunnar Carson?
Gunnar Carson?
The driver waved and shouted, Yes!
司機揮住手並大叫：係啊！
Oh wow! We were sent to help you! Cried Annie. Are you okay?
哇！我哋係嚟幫你㗎，安妮喊道：你仲好嘛？
Yes, just hit a bump back there.
冇錯啊，就係嗰度呢，突然有個小顛簸啊！
said the famous dog musher.
嗰個著名嘅狗拉雪橇手講道。
The sled went flying and crashed on its side. Annie and Jack began helping Gunnar.
雪橇猛地一歪，然後翻咗個身，撞咗落地上面。安妮同埋傑克開始協助Gunnar。
They grabbed each dog by its harness and, one by one, pulled them out of the soft snow.
佢哋分別抓住咗每隻狗嘅項圈，依次咁樣將佢哋從鬆軟嘅雪地裏面拉咗出嚟。
By the time the dogs were all on their feet again, Jack had counted 13 huskies.
等到所有嘅狗都重新站直身子嘅時候，傑克已經救出咗13隻哈士奇犬啦。
Jack and Annie helped Gunnar turn the sled upright, setting it back on its runners.
傑克同埋安妮協助古立將雪橇扶正，使到佢重新返去輪子上面。
Then together, all three stomped on the snow with their boots, packing it down so the dogs could pull the sled out.
隨後三人一齊用靴子喺雪地上面用力踩踏，將雪壓實，以便能夠拉動雪橇出嚟。
Line out! Gunnar commanded his team.
排好隊啊！古立以命令佢嘅隊員們。
Soon the dogs were lined up in pairs in front of the sled, with a single dog in the lead.
好快，呢啲狗就兩兩一組咁樣排成一系列，企喺雪橇前，其中一隻狗走喺隊伍嘅最前面。
Wait, is that Balto? Shouted Annie. Yes, said Gunnar.
等等啊，嗰個係咪巴爾托啊？安妮大喊：係啊 ！Gunnar 講話。
Annie hurried to the front of the line. Hi, Balto!
安妮急忙走到隊伍嘅前端。Hello， 巴爾托。
Balto barked a greeting and leapt up to lick Annie's face.
巴托汪咗幾聲表示問候，然後跳起嚟去舐安妮嘅面。
The bells on his collar jingled wildly. She laughed and hugged him. I wanted to meet you for a long time, she shouted.
佢項圈上嘅鈴鐺瘋狂咁樣響住，佢笑啦，然後擁抱住狗狗。我早就想見你啦，安妮大聲講道。
Do you have the medicine for Gnome? Jack asked Gunner.
你有冇俾落米嘅藥啊？傑克問古爾納。
Yes, the musher said, leaning over the sled. It's right here. Oh, no, no. Oh, no what? Said Jack.
冇啊，係啊，有啊。呢位訓犬員講到，親子探向雪橇就喺呢度啊！咩話？傑克問到，做乜嘢啊？
What's wrong? The package is missing, Gunnar yelled.
個包裹唔見咗啊！古納爾大喊道。
Missing? Said Jack.
失蹤咗，傑克講。
Where is it? Cried Gunnar. Where is it? Where is it? Jack echoed. It was tied to the sled, shouted Gunnar.
佢喺邊度啊？傑克重複道。佢呢係咗喺雪橇上面啊！古納爾喊道。
This is a catastrophe.
呢個簡直係呢災難啊！
In the biting wind, the musher fell to his knees and frantically dug through the snow, looking for the medicine package. What?
喺刺骨嘅寒風中，呢位呢純犬員跪倒在地，瘋狂咁喺雪地裏面掘，尋找呢嗰一包藥。
What's wrong? Annie called from the front of the line of dogs.
發生咩事啊？安妮喺狗群嘅最前面喊道。
Jack ran to her. He lost the medicine. It fell off his sled, he said. We have to help him find it.
傑克跑向佢話：佢將啲藥整唔見咗啊！藥喺佢嘅雪橇上面跌咗落嚟。佢話道：我哋要幫佢揾返嚟啊！
Wait, wait, said Annie. I'll bet Balto can find it.
等等啊！安妮話道：我咁肯定呢，巴爾托可以揾到佢啊！
She crouched beside the lead dog and unhooked his tug line and neckline.
佢蹲喺領頭嘅嗰條狗嘅旁邊，解開咗佢嘅牽引繩同埋頸繩。
No, don't unhook him, said Jack. We can't lose Balto too. We
唔好啊，唔好解開佢嘅繩啊！傑克話：我哋唔可以失去巴爾托㗎。
won't lose him, said Annie. He can help.
我哋唔會失去佢㗎。安妮講到，佢可以幫忙㗎。
She grabbed the lead dog's head between her mittens and put her face close to his, saying, 佢呢將用手緊緊咁樣拎住嗰個領頭嘅狗，然之後呢將臉湊近佢。Words Jack couldn't hear.
然之後低聲講咗一啲傑克聽唔到嘅説話。
Then she released Balto. Find the medicine. Find it now, Annie yelled. What?
然後佢鬆開咗巴托爾，叫佢去揾藥啦！而家就去揾啦！安妮大聲喊道。
While Gunnar crawled around in the snow looking for the package, Balto took off in the direction his team had come.
當古納喺雪地裏面四處尋找包裹嘅時候，巴托爾則朝住佢嘅隊伍離時嘅方向出發啦。
With his nose to the ground, the husky trotted back down the trail.
呢隻哈士奇用鼻子觸地，沿住小路一路咁樣小跑住返去。
Let's follow him, Jack, cried Annie.
我哋跟住佢啦，傑克安妮講道。
Leaving Gunnar and the rest of the dogs behind, she and Jack hurried after Balto.
佢甩開咗官拿同埋其餘嘅狗，同傑克一齊呢急匆匆咁樣追向巴爾托。
Trudged through the snowstorm after the eager dog, following the jingling of his collar bells.
佢哋頂住暴風雪艱難咁樣，跟住嗰隻興奮嘅狗後面，順住佢項圈上嘅鈴鐺前行。
When Annie and Jack reached Balto, he was whining and digging through the snow.
當安妮同埋傑克到巴爾托嗰度嘅時候，佢正喺度哀鳴住啊，喺雪地裏面呢翻找住啲嘢。
I think he found it, Annie shouted.
我諗佢揾到啦，安妮大聲喊道。
Jack felt around in the windswept snow until he touched something soft and solid.
傑克喺狂風肆虐嘅雪地中摸索住，直到摸到一個柔軟而堅固嘅東西。
He pulled a heavy fur-wrapped bag out of the snow and struggled to stand up with it.
佢喺雪中曳出一個厚厚嘅用皮毛包裹住嘅袋子，然後費力咁樣帶住佢站起嚟。
Great job, Balto! You found it.
幹得好啊！巴爾托，你揾到啦！安妮大聲喊道。
Shouted Annie. Gunnar, Jack yelled. We found the package. But his voice didn't carry through the storm. Let's take it to him, he said to Annie.
古納爾傑克大聲喊道：我哋揾到包裹啦！但佢嘅聲音喺狂風中傳唔遠。我哋帶返去俾佢啦，佢對安妮講道。
Balto started back the way they'd come, his collar bells jingling. Carrying the package of life-saving medicine, Jack followed Balto and Annie.
巴爾托沿住佢哋來時嘅路線往回走，佢嘅衣領上嘅鈴鐺叮鈴作響，傑克手裏面拎住嘅嗰包救命藥跟喺巴爾托同埋安妮身後。
When Annie and Jack reached Balto, he was whining and digging through the snow. When they reached Gunnar's team, Annie quickly hooked Balto to the front of the line. 當佢哋嚟到古納爾嘅隊伍跟前時，安妮迅速咁樣將巴爾托牽制隊伍嘅最前面。Then she and Jack hurried to Gunnar. The musher was still on his knees, not far from the sled, wildly shoveling through the snow with his hands. 然後佢同傑克急忙咁樣呢，返去貢納爾身邊。呢位訓犬員仍然跪喺地上面，離雪橇不遠，淨係用雙手瘋狂咁樣喺雪地裏面鏟雪。Gunnar, it's okay, shouted Jack. We have the package. What's back there? It must have fallen out when you hit the bump. 古納爾冇事啦，我哋揾到個包裹啊，就喺呢度啊，肯定係你撞到嗰個凸起嘅時候撞甩咗啦。Balto found it. 係巴爾托揾到㗎，安妮講到。Said Annie. Gunnar gave a happy shout and staggered to his feet. 古納爾高興咁樣大喊一聲，然後呢踉蹌咁樣站咗起嚟。Jack handed over the fur-wrapped package, and Gunnar tied it tightly to his sled. 傑克將嗰個用毛皮包裹住嘅包裹遞咗俾佢，古納爾又將佢緊緊咁樣繫喺雪橇上面。You go ahead, we'll follow you, Jack shouted. 你先走啦，我哋隨後就跟你一齊走啦，傑克大聲講道。We can help you if you need us again, said Annie. 如果你日後仲需要我哋嘅幫助，我哋會鼎力相助㗎，安妮講道。Thank you, shouted Gunnar Carson. I won't forget you. Thank you. 多謝你啊，古納爾卡森講道，我唔會忘記你㗎，多謝。Annie yelled goodbye to Balto. Then she and Jack hurried back through the whirling snow to their own sled. The huskies greeted them noisily. 安妮向巴爾托揮咗揮手，表示道別。隨後佢同傑克匆匆穿過漫天飛舞嘅雪花，返去自己嘅雪橇旁。嗰啲哈士奇們歡快咁樣向佢哋打招呼。Ready, team! Jack yelled, pulling up the snow hook. You're going to follow Balto. 準備好啦，隊員們！傑克大喊道，拉起雪鈎，你哋要跟住巴爾托前進啊 ！Can I drive? Annie shouted. 我可唔可以開車啊？安妮大聲喊道。Sure, we can switch places at port safety, if you want, said Jack. Chapter 8. 當然可以啦，如果你願意嘅話，我哋可以喺安全港換一下位置啊！傑克講道。As he climbed into the basket, Jack thought about the port safety roadhouse. 當佢爬進籃子嘅時候，傑克諗起咗波特安全旅館。He wondered if Gunnar planned to stop there. 佢心裏琢磨住古爾納係唔係會停留喺嗰度呢？ It would be weird to meet Ed all over again, as if for the first time. 再次見到艾德爾會好奇怪啊，彷彿好似初次相見一般。And he stood on the runners and waited. Soon jingling bells could be heard. 安妮企喺跑道上等待住，不一會兒就聽到咗叮當嘅鈴聲。Moments later, Gunnar's team dashed by. 片刻之後，Gunnar嘅隊伍飛奔而過。With Balto in the lead, all 13 huskies pulled the musher and his sled over the snow.
巴爾托領頭13隻哈士奇拉住呢位訓犬員同埋佢嘅雪橇喺雪地上面疾馳。
As the jingling faded into the night, Annie shouted, "Hike!" The 8 huskies bolted forward and got back on the trail, dashing after Balto's team.
隨住叮當聲漸漸消失喺夜色之中，安妮大喊道：出發！8隻哈士奇立刻向前衝去，重新返去小道上面，緊追住巴爾托嘅隊伍。
As Jack bumped around in the basket, he held on to the sides and closed his eyes against the fury of the storm.
當傑克喺籃子裏面搖來搖去嘅時候，佢緊緊抓住籃子嘅邊緣，閉上眼睛，以抵禦狂風嘅侵襲。
It wasn't long, though, before he heard Annie shout, "Port Safety Roadhouse up ahead!" Jack.
然而沒過多久，佢就聽到安妮喊道：前方係港口安全旅館啊！傑克睜開眼，睇到咗嗰座木屋。
Opened his eyes and saw the log cabin. "Jack, look!" Gunnar kept going, yelled Annie. "He didn't stop at the roadhouse."
傑克睇下，官拿繼續往前走啊！佢喺嗰個旅店度冇停下嚟啊！
"Keep following them," said Jack.
繼續跟佢哋走啦！傑克講。
"Gee!" Annie yelled, and swung her dogs away from the roadhouse.
哎呀！安妮大喊一聲，然後呢，將佢嘅狗趕離咗嗰間旅店。
Jack and Annie's huskies kept following the jingling bells of Balto as he and his team led the way north to Nome.
傑克同埋安妮嘅哈士奇們一直跟住巴爾托身上嘅叮當聲，一路緊隨其後。佢同埋佢嘅團隊正係朝住北前往洛米鎮。
Racing along the coast of the Bering Sea, Jack and Annie's team seemed even livelier and stronger than before.
沿住白令海嘅海岸疾馳而行，傑克同埋安妮嘅隊伍顯得比以前更加活躍，更加有力。
It was as if Balto was leading their team as well as his own. Guided by Balto's spirit, all 21 dogs flew over the flat shoreline.
彷彿巴爾托唔單止係引領住自己嘅隊伍，亦都係引領住佢哋嘅隊伍啊！喺巴爾托嘅精神指引下，呢21隻狗飛越咗平坦嘅海岸線。
As they ran, the weather improved. The snow stopped falling, and the wind died down.
喺奔跑嘅過程中，天氣狀況有所好轉，雪停啦，風亦都少咗。
Amazingly, in less than 3 hours, the blizzard had stopped completely. The sky had begun to clear.
雪停啦，風亦都細啦。令人驚訝嘅係，喺唔到3個小時嘅時間裏面，呢場暴風雪徹底停止啦，天空開始放晴。
In the early grey dawn, Jack saw a church steeple in the distance.
喺黎明前嗰灰蒙蒙嘅天色中，傑克遠遠咁樣見到咗一座教堂嘅尖頂。
He saw lights flickering in the windows of houses.
佢仲見到房屋嘅窗戶裏面透出微弱嘅燈光。
"We're back! We made it to Nome!" he cried.
我哋返嚟啦！我哋終於到達洛姆啦！佢大聲喊道。
"Hooray!" said Annie. The sun was rising as they followed Balto's team into town. "We should take—"
太好啦！安妮講道。當佢哋呢跟隨巴爾托嘅隊伍進入城鎮嘅時候，太陽已經開始升起啦。
"Take these guys back to Oki and Uncle Joe," said Annie.
我哋應該將呢啲人帶返去奧基同埋喬叔叔嗰度去啊！安妮講道。
"You're right," said Jack. "Gunnar's good now. The medicines arrived."
你講得好啱啊！傑克講道。古納爾而家好多啦，藥亦都到啦。
"Ha!" commanded Annie. And the dogs veered left and headed for the spit of land near the frozen sea.
哈！安妮一聲令下，於是嗰啲狗向左轉，朝住靠近冰封嘅大海嘅嗰片沙洲跑去。
In the early light, the husky stopped at Uncle Joe's shack.
喺晨曦嘅微光中，呢啲哈士奇停咗喺喬叔叔嘅小屋前。
As the dogs whined and yelped, Oki flew out the front door.
當呢啲狗喺度哀鳴狂吠住嘅時候，奧基從前門飛咗出去。
His uncle followed, hobbling on his crutch.
佢嘅叔叔則拄住拐杖跟喺後面。
Though exhausted, the dogs had enough energy to jump up and down and bark excitedly as their two friends greeted them with great joy. As he climbed,
儘管已經疲憊不堪，但呢啲狗仍然有足夠嘅精力，歡快咁樣奔跳住並且大聲吠叫，因為佢哋嘅兩個朋友滿懷喜悅咁樣去迎接佢哋。第8章完。